pockets. We got topics. We still gotta. We still gotta do our bets. We still gotta organize the bets here. We got 5 games that we're gonna pick. Let's start with KC at Oakland. Oakland is a home dog now. Yep. Even though they had Derek Carr back last week, but his back was pretty messed up. He was throwing picks. Yeah. And KC, even though they lost to the Steelers, still a 3-point favorite on the road, which means Vegas thinks that they're 6 points better if you take out the home advantage. Yeah. So, who do you think is your pick here?
I'm going
spread.
I'm going Kansas City. I'm going Kansas City by a touchdown because here's the thing with them. Yeah, they're coming off a loss, but the Raiders are a divisional team, right? So I think for the Chiefs to really cross over into them really wanting to be a title contending team, this is an AFC West showdown. They have to win on the road to really, prove who they are. I mean, because when the Chiefs were 5-0, I think people were just like, whatever. It's different if the Patriots were 5-0. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the Chiefs. And so I think if they win this game, it'll be a real statement. So I say Chiefs by a touchdown in Oakland.
Okay. I really think these rivalry games really change the landscape. Like, what do you think Russell? What do you think do you think the rivalry game will change the fact that it's a divisional game? They know each other pretty well. Do you think that'll change things in this matchup?
No, I actually think it'll be maybe a 10 or more point victory for the Chiefs. Because if you think about it, the Raiders haven't been able to put it all together all year. Even with Derek Carr, even with the 2 receivers they have, even with Marshawn Lynch, even with Khalil Mack, they haven't been able to put a whole game together.
True.
So if you think about that, and the fact that Amari Cooper's been awful this year. Yeah. Right? And so that's a big part of their offense that they just haven't had. So I think the Chiefs, coming off a loss, they're going to have a little bit of fire underneath them. Andy Reid's going to get them up in this game and say, hey, we really want to show people why we should be feared in the AFC. Not only in the AFC, but in the NFL. We need to come out and show Oakland who we really are. Right. So I think it might be a long day for the Raiders.
Yeah, I agree. As someone who graduated from the University of Utah, I'm not picking against Alex Smith. I think he's going to do very good, and he's gonna cover at least by a touchdown. And anyways, our next game, Arizona is at the Rams, and if at the beginning of the season you would have told somebody that the Rams would be giving 3.5 points to Arizona, they would say you're crazy, but that is what happened. The Rams were favored at home against Arizona. Russell, what do you think this matchup is going to look like Sunday?
That's a hard game. Yeah. And it's only hard because the wild card that Adrian Peterson now is, I think it really affects. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it froze up. My bad. I'm going to stop and I'm going to start over from the beginning.
No problem.
So if you think about that game, it's a really hard game to pick because if you look at the wild card that Adrian Peterson now is for the Arizona Cardinals, that really adds an interesting dynamic to their offense. And for a long point in that game, Carson Palmer was perfect, like maybe 15 for 15 with 3 touchdowns.
Played very well.
So it's not just AP that was helping him out. But then on the other side, you have the St. Louis Rams. You have an LA Rams team that has really been playing good football against really good opponents too, and has been coming out on top. Yeah. So I don't think you can take the Rams lightly. I like that the 3-point favorite for the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams by 3.
Wow. I don't know. It's such because, like you said, AP really changes the game now. He's that X factor that I don't think. Of course, the Rams weren't planning on this a week ago, but I think the Cardinals have been very good at stopping the run, and I think Todd Gurley has been just pretty much a godsend for the Rams, moving their offense up and down the field. So I'm just not sold on Jared Goff yet. I'm just not. I can't trust him yet.
Yeah, to me, this is my lock of the week. Arizona is going to beat the Rams.
That's your lock?
Oh, yeah, this is my lock. Here's why. I think Vegas, you're getting 3.5 points. You're telling me Jared Goff is going to beat them by more than a field goal? No, it is not going to happen. Here's why. First of all, Vegas is undervaluing Arizona right now. This is the perfect time to bet on them. They don't know how good Arizona is, which means they're not properly valuing them. This might be the last time you get 3.5 points for them in this type of situation. Also, it's a road game. It's Arizona to LA. And if we know LA, no one shows up for these games. It is going to be an Arizona home game. And to get 3.5 points when it's essentially a home game, there is no home field advantage. We talk about this. Vegas gives 3 points traditionally for a home team. But there is no home field advantage in LA. They should never, ever have that 3 points for an LA team. And I think the Arizona Cardinals are so undervalued. Grab them.
Okay.
All right, the next game, Cincinnati is at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh with a rebound game last week, looking great against Kansas City.
Look like a completely different team.
They are a 5-point favorite. Pittsburgh is.
Wow.
Does anyone have the bravery to take Cincinnati?
I wouldn't pick Cincinnati. I wouldn't pick somebody from Cincinnati to change my tire, dog. Them niggas is trash. Like, straight up, niggas is trash. Buns, as they said in the AC, Russ. Buns.
Yes, I'm doing buns. Shout out to our boy Egg.
Can I be explained this?
Okay, so have you ever heard somebody say like something is booty, like when it's bad?
Not even that.
Oh God! He don't even have the source material, dog. Anyway, buns is like butt cheeks is bad.
Yeah. Okay. If you hang out with us enough, you're gonna hear us say stuff is booty all the time.
Yeah, but that.
All right, bet.
Oh God. Appropriation. Jeremy Lin. No, with the Bengals, buns, dog. They're terrible. They have not put a game together this year. I think Marvin Lewis is a terrible coach. Sorry, said it. Whatever, fight me. I say Steelers win by 2 touchdowns.
You know, this is another rivalry game.
Who covers Antonio Bryant on the Bengals defense?
Or Martavis Bryant.
Exactly.
I don't mind taking the Cincinnati Bengals here. It's a rivalry game. These games are actually traditionally pretty close. Traditionally, half the time. There are some blowouts.
They traditionally ass, so I'm going Steelers.
It is really, no one should ever pick Andy Dalton. So I'm just saying, Ben Roethlisberger a week ago was like crying, I don't have it. Oh, and then all of a sudden this week he was like, who said I don't have it? You did. I think it could be week to week with Big Ben, and I'm taking a blind pick. I'm swallowing the pill that is Andy Dalton, that ginger, and I'm saying, please, Big Ben, please go back to crying. Oh, I don't know where I am. Jacksonville. I think it's going to happen again with Cincinnati. They have a good front four.
Wow.
Okay. So I think the game of the week, the Super Bowl rematch. Atlanta is at New England.
Uh-oh.
New England is only a 3-point favorite, which means Vegas thinks this is a even matchup if it was on a neutral site, like the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. It's at New England, right?
I think Vegas is insane. I'm taking the Patriots by a touchdown minimum. What say you guys?
I'm taking the Patriots in a blowout. It's a statement game. I'm taking the Patriots in a blowout. I think this is my lock for the week. I think it's the safest bet to make right here. Drop a bag on this one.
So what's their statement? What's their statement? We are a mediocre team and people can play with us now. If you let the Jets, who should have beat them, almost beat you,
they should have beat
anybody.
That's what I'm saying. The Jets should have beat the Patriots, and they have to prove that they're not mediocre. They have to prove that.
It's too late. You're in week 7 now. Like every week they prove we're not as good as people say we are. People keep picking the Patriots. No, stop. Their defense is 32nd in the NFL in points allowed, in yards given up. They don't get takeaways. Like they're not good.
It's my lock, and I'm sticking with it.
Their defense has Tom Brady, and guess what? they're the Patriots, and you know you can say what you want, but they have the refs in their pocket. Did you see that call against the Jets? There was no way that was a fumble, and you know it was practically reparations for Deflategate, even though Deflategate was their fault. You know it was terrible. It was terrible, but
I don't like any world where Bill Belichick and Tom Brady get reparations. I'm sorry, they have had too much.
Yeah, it's
So you're going Falcons.
Boston's really had a good
I'm going
team.
Falcons by 6.
Wow.
2 goals.
I'm going Pats.
I thought I had the gutsiest picks today. That's the gutsiest
I'm going
pick
Pats
today.
by 2 touchdowns. Shout out to
It's not gutsy because the Patriots are a bad team, man.
Shout out to my Boston boys, Mark Stevens and Tom Whalen. They love some Tom Brady, man. So I'm going 2 touchdowns for the Pats for them.
All right, we have one last game.
And my boy Madison Coleman, he from Mississippi, but he a Patriots fan for some reason. I don't know.
We have to cover the Monday Night Football game. We're going to do this every week. The pick for a Monday Night Football game. Washington is at Philadelphia. Philadelphia is favored by 4.5 points. What do you guys think?
The Eagles are my pick to win the NFC East. I think Carson Wentz is playing the best ball as a quarterback in the NFC East right now. I think their offense clicks the best in the NFC East right now, especially with the Giants struggling, this Cowboys stuff, and then Washington, I'm just not sold. So I think they win the division, and they show why they're going to win the division when they beat the Redskins. I think they beat them by 7.
I think this should be the lock of the week. If you think about it, the Eagles are a much better team than Washington. Washington has no business being in this game.
True.
You know, Kirk Cousins he can play, but he's not that elite quarterback.
You like that?
Want to say he is. So I don't see Washington being in this game longer than the first quarter.
Same.
This is my lock of the week.
Okay.
Honestly, another rivalry game. I think you guys are undervaluing Washington. They never win, but they're pretty close in a lot of these games.
They never win.
I mean, in important games, they always they're kind of like the Lions. They'll screw it up, but they'll make it close.
Yeah.
And if you're getting 4.5 points and Kirk Cousins versus Carson Wentz, I know you're going to say, oh, Wentz is better. He's on the trajectory to be better. He's still young. He's going to make a lot of mistakes to keep them close. Mm-hmm. I think Kirk Cousins is going to screw it up in the end, but they'll lose by a field goal as opposed to, a touchdown, and that'll be enough to cover.
So you go Eagles by 3?
I think Eagles will win, but I don't think they'll cover 4.5 points. I don't think they're there yet to consistently cover in a... the one thing with Philadelphia... There's 2 teams in the NFC East. Philadelphia... Actually, if you think about it, all the teams in the NFC East, they don't play very well at home. No. If you think about it now, I just go through it in my head. They all don't play well at home. It's because there's so much pressure.
Yeah.
And their fans will get on you. And so, in the NFC East, when you play at home, it's not always an advantage, especially Philadelphia and New York especially. Yeah. Those are the 2 meanest fan bases. Yeah. And if they're not doing that well, they will boo them. So I think could rattle them. I actually like Washington to hold it close, but, lose. So no batteries we throw.
NFC East, the best reality TV show in sports, man.
Yeah, or the worst, either way.
Right.
But anyways, now wrapped up the picks.